Judgment is the ability to use critical thinking, and it's a character strength we all have. As a strength, like any muscle, we can overuse it and underuse it. But most importantly, we can get better at using it and find a way to be more balanced with it in life. From the positive psychology research that I've read and some extra insights of my own, here's how to be more judgmental in a good way. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, where have you been? It's great to have you here, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we are diving back into the character strengths and exploring what it means to have strength of character and to live a full life by having a strong character. So all the research in positive psychology is with the Virtues in Action Institute on Character. This is their book they have, but if you want to take their survey and find out your top personality strengths, I'll have it linked up in one of the corners right now. But we are still on the virtue of wisdom, and we're diving into the strength of judgment or critical thinking as they kind of compare them and connect those two. So let's run it. To start, we can dive into VIA's definition on judgment or critical thinking, and they say it is the ability to make logical, rational decisions while being concerned with a full 360-degree perspective on the situation, context, everything there is to know. But they also dive deeper and they say that in reality, no one really has the time to have a complete 360-degree full perspective of every little minute detail accounted for. So they say that judgment really is the ability to have this full perspective while still know the valuable information from each of these and knowing which pieces of information are more valuable than others. I also think that this character strength is really interesting because we live in an age in which confirmation bias and just echo chambers are more easy to exist within than ever before. Just on social media, on any sort of search engine, these algorithms are tailored to just show you information that you're more likely to connect with and or just other things you're more likely to click on. So it would make sense that having good judgment doesn't just mean you have all the perspectives on the side you agree with, but having clear, fair judgment of all perspectives, even on sides you don't necessarily agree with. For those of you following along at home, here's on page 60, they say that when you are at your best using judgment or critical thinking, you weigh the issues, try to be objective in balancing the options, and are flexible in that your mind can be changed in light of new, solidly grounded evidence, which I think makes a lot of sense. And with this fleshed out idea of what judgment actually is, it can show how much value there is in being able to have a full broadened perspective without being super convicted of one opinion over another, but being able to have both with you at the same time.
Fire is the element of power. The people of the Fire Nation have desire and will, and the energy and drive to achieve what they want. Earth is the element of substance. The people of the Earth Kingdom are diverse and strong. They are persistent and enduring. Air is the element of freedom. The air nomads detached themselves from worldly concerns and found peace and freedom. Also, they apparently had pretty good senses of humor. Water is the element of change. The people of the water tribe are capable of adapting to many things. They have a deep sense of community and love that holds them together through anything.
Why are you telling me these things?
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
Now, to give you even more reason as far as why judgment is such a valuable strength, those who exhibit judgment as one of the top strengths are more likely and more easily able to deal with times of transition or change. They are more open-minded, which is a result of using good judgment, which helps people find more meaning into different perspectives around why people value different purposes in life, so that we can just have an overall greater sense of your own meaning and others' meaning in life. And also, you are less likely to be manipulated or swayed by others' suggestions or opinions. I've mentioned this several times before, but remember, we are always of character to begin with. So it's never that you don't have judgment, but it's just that it's still up to us to actualize it and use it more and find better balance with that strength in our own life. So to kickstart your judgment engine and critical thinking skills, consider these. When do you find that emotions get in the way of you being objective? And are there different topics or ideas or events or circumstances that are more likely for this to happen to you? What people or circumstances bring out your more analytical side? And at the same time, what people or circumstances, again, bring out your more intuitive or emotional side? And are these times ever the same, in which both your analytical and intuitive and emotional side are brought out at the same argument? When you are trying to make decisions, what makes you lose perspective of the big picture? Lastly, it is important to consider emotions, as that's just a big part of being human. So, how do you incorporate emotions or consider your emotions and emotions of others into a rational thinking process? How can doing this help inform you in the present and make better decisions today without neglecting future consequences of the actions you make today? Little side note here, I think it's very common to see arguments around like, oh, you have to only think logically, but at the end of the day, if you want to connect back to even Socrates and Greek virtues, there's different ways we can make arguments, whether it be ethos, pathos, and logos. So having appealing to emotions can be a way to create an argument. Appealing to our logic can be another way to create an argument. And you can also appeal to reputation, and if someone does this thing, then they're like to do another thing. There's different ways that we can appeal to reason in creating arguments. So it's not just about neglecting emotions and only seeing logical, rational thought, but how can we have a full perspective of all of these to create better thinking overall? If you can't tell, I'm really passionate about this stuff, combining self-improvement with communications. That's what my degree was in college. So if you're liking this video so far, leave a like and leave a comment down below if this is one of your top strengths or what else your top strengths are, and I can make those videos come sooner than others, as I've got 24 of these to make, so stay tuned for those. Like I mentioned in other videos, like with curiosity and creativity, under the virtue of wisdom, knowledge is wasted if we do nothing with it. So if you want a life exercise with judgment, go watch some sort of political documentary, a news, a network, TV show, whatever, and try to understand how someone else could be absolutely convicted of a different opinion or belief than your own. And you could have compelling arguments against why they're wrong, but try to understand how they could come to their beliefs. Because if you can understand how they could come to their beliefs, you can have a better argument and you can have better disagreements around why people think the way they do and why they can think so strongly with a different idea than your own. Politics aside, I also highly recommend watching either the movie Moneyball or reading David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell, or just any other podcast or interview with him, because I think it's a great example of critical thinking in action and being able to really create that skill of questioning or challenging thoughts around the idea of like, are things really the way we think they are? Moneyball is a great movie about baseball and kind of applying the idea of how you can change the game by looking at it differently. So check those out if you want some good life exercises to go practice this strength in real life. If you made it this far in this video, you're a real one. Thanks for being here. But one last idea. Why is it that we have this negative connotation with being judgmental? Why is it a common reply after an argument like, oh, don't be so judgmental? Why is that a thing? Like any other strength, we can overuse it and underuse it, but to underuse judgment most likely will come across as feeling inconsiderate or unreflective. With this, it can lead us to being too emotional and too caught up with just our side of the issue, and it can prevent us from exploring at least other ideas and other perspectives out there outside of our own. Consider this: if you are truly right in your side of the argument and you know you're correct, you can call out when other people are arguing emotionally, but you can't close yourself off from their side of thinking and their side of the argument. At the same time, if you start arguing emotionally, then how is this devaluing your side of the argument, and how is this showing that you don't always trust your own information if you're just resorting to arguing and appealing to emotion? Also, don't forget about this. It's common for any form of authority, whether it be schools, parents, social ideologies themselves. They can discourage us from using judgment, and they can make us think that any form of judgment is bad. But narrow-mindedness and closing yourself off from a difference of opinion is the greatest sign of underusing judgment. An overuse of judgment is on the complete opposite side of this spectrum. Overusing judgment can lead us to chronically think negatively about every action and every detail of the other side of the argument. I bet this is why we have that refrain of, oh, don't be so judgmental. It's because we feel that negativity coming at us and we reply with, don't be so over judgmental. I think that's a better way to put it. But we can also turn this inward, and we can be judgmental to ourselves and think about every little critical negative action that we take and only focus on those. So don't be over judgmental to yourself as well. We all have slight missteps every day, and overusing judgment can prevent us from ever growing beyond them. Overusing judgment can also lead us into a downward spiral of looking for every possible detail out there, but don't forget that proper use of judgment is knowing the difference in value of different sources of information, being able to decipher which pieces of information are more valuable than others. Finding balance with judgment is being able to look at all sides of an argument and being able to see the valuable information in each side of the argument. If you want to learn more about this is very similar to Cicero's philosophy around truth and how truth isn't just black and white, but there's a piece of truth within each side of us, and we can only find that by engaging in dialogue with other people. So that all being said, challenge yourself to use judgment to give feedback or engage in disagreements or dialogue with other people without degrading others or having them or yourself feel misunderstood in the process. In summary, when judgment and critical thinking is used best, it is grounded in objective, fair, diverse thinking, but it is expressed with kindness and respect for others. All right, my people, that is a wrap on strength number 3 of 24. More videos to come. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. And if you want to help me out the most right now, just watch more of my videos. That helps tell YouTube that, hey, this is a channel that people are actively watching. We'll start to recommend it more to other people. If you want to share positive psychology research more and you want to learn more, check out the website. I'll have it linked in the description below, and I'll have links to recommendations for using judgment with Malcolm Gladwell, interviews and stuff like that, seeing that in action. But I really enjoy talking about this stuff, and I'm glad that some of you do as well. That all being said, you will catch me throughout the rest of this week with other videos I upload, but you'll see me next weekend with another strength. Until then, take care of yourself, enjoy your week to come, and be judgmental. Okay, bye. You'll see me later.